Oh man, where do I begin? Yeah, so the short of it is that I faked a serious knee injury for the better part of a month so that I could throw off all of my enemies and sneak in under the radar and cash in my Money in the Bank contract on CM Punk, who had just won the World Heavyweight Championship. There he is. Look at that face. Look at him. He's so happy. And then here I come out on the crutches, briefcase in hand. Everybody thinks I'm still hurt. Nah, not gonna happen. Turn the tide on him, cash it in, one stomp to the punker, lights out, new world heavyweight champion. Everybody thought I was hurt. I was not, in fact, hurt. It was an elaborate ruse, a successful ruse, and there we are, world title in hand. And we're off to the future, man. We're going to build a future big and bright. WWE, ESPN, Seth freaking Rollins, world heavyweight champion. It doesn't get any better than this.
Was the best part of that being the champion or making sure that his reign only lasted a few minutes?
I mean, that was the cherry on top. That was the icing on the cake. I really felt good. I got lucky that he won that match. Whether it was him or Gunther, I was taking that title, but I was so excited that it was Punk because it made me feel really, really good to pin his shoulders to the mat and take the title from him.
All right, now, Seth Rollins told us that he grew up watching ESPN, watching SportsCenter. You grew up in Davenport, Iowa, a crazy fan of the Bears. The last time I saw you, you were hyping up the fans of the Chicago Bears at the draft. You announced the 56th pick for the Bears. So give everybody a sense. What do you expect? Caleb Williams, his first opportunity now with the new head coach. What are you expecting from the Bears this year?
Oh, man. I was excited going into the season, hiring Ben Johnson, getting kind of a whole new staff behind Caleb. I loved what we did in the draft, the free agency pickups along the offensive line. But then I saw the first action from the A team preseason last week against the Bills. There it is. Look at him. He's on the money, man. He's throwing darts. He's on time. He's in rhythm. All season last year, the Bears didn't go down and score a touchdown on their first drive. They do it in the first week. I don't care if they're playing backups. It doesn't matter to me. I love it. I'm excited. NFC North, let's go. We're taking it home, baby. I don't care about the Lions. Don't care about the Packers. Don't care about the Vikings. Bears taking back the North. I'm calling it right here on Get Up.
All right, we'll talk about that and more as we go. Seth, this is a pleasure again. Welcome to our family. We're delighted to be part of your family, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great time in Ireland. We'll see you back in New York as soon as you can get here.
Cheers, Greeny. Thank you, man. Get me in studio. Let's talk Bears.
You got it. Well, listen, we have them the first Monday night of the season. We'll see what winds up happening.
Yes,
That's
sir.
Seth freaking Rollins, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you. Thank you very much. Let me give you three more things you should know this morning if you're just waking up as a sports fan. Paige Beckers, we showed you her highlights earlier this morning. She was unbelievable. She scored 44 points last night, breaking Candace Parker's WNBA rookie record of 40. Becker shot 17 of 21 from the floor, made all four of her threes, and they lost. Kelsey Plum, the buzzer beater, sparks an 81-80 win. Philadelphia baseball, another monster day for Kyle Schwarber. Hit his National League leading 45th home run, drove in 5. Phillies completed a sweep of the Mariners 11-2. Schwarber now on pace to hit 57 home runs and leads the majors with 109 RBIs. That is already his career high. And then speaking of home runs, the Yankees are hitting them in bunches. Giancarlo Stanton had a 2-run shot in the 10th last night. Yankees beat the Rays 6-4. That was one of 5 home runs they hit last night. Remember, they hit 9 the night before, so that's 14 home runs in a 2-game span. It ties the major league record set by the Reds in 1999. All right, I'll catch my breath. Coming up, a perfect match in Pittsburgh. I will tell you exactly why. The dynamic duo of Rodgers and Tomlin are the steal of the season in the NFL. Plus, Shador is gone. So is Travis Hunter. So what is the pressure on Dion to have a primetime season in Colorado? We'll talk about that and much more next. It is a whole new day without Ben. That is an average of 10-7 per year with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson, Mitch Trubisky, Devlin Duck Hodges, Charlie Batch, Justin Fields, Landry Jones, Mike Vick, Dennis Dixon, and Byron Leftwich at quarterback. You tell me which of those guys Rodgers is not going to outplay. Mike Tomlin always overachieves. That's not an opinion, people. It's a fact. The Steelers have gone over their win total in each of their last 5 seasons, and they do it by winning close games. In those 5 seasons, Tomlin has won 65% of his games decided by 6 points or fewer. Rodgers and the Jets were 0-7 in those games last year. He is the perfect coach for what Aaron can still be. And here's one more thing. In Pittsburgh's 3 seasons post-Big Ben, they're 17-2 in games without a turnover. I'll give you one guess. Which quarterback has the lowest interception rate in NFL history? That's right. It's Rodgers. So in closing, let me simply say I have seen this movie before. In 2009, after playing for the Jets and being left for dead, a 40-year-old Brett Favre went to Minnesota, went 12-4, and made the NFC title game. So are you telling me that history can't repeat itself? I would say don't bet against it. You were there for that Brett Favre game, or that Brett Favre season with the New York Jets. He looked just as finished, maybe even more finished than Rodgers did. He actually retired after that season and then unretired. He had a habit of doing that. Rodgers going to Pittsburgh feels very similar to me, similar circumstance. I think this team is the steal, pun intended, of the season.
No, I think you made a great case, and I'm prone to agree with you. But I think someone has to bring a little bit of realism to the conversation in that you're pointing to the Favre example because it's the lone example of something like this happening. And if we're relying on Aaron Rodgers to be the low interception Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't been that in the last 2 seasons that he's been a full starter. He's had double-digit interceptions in both of those seasons. And I think the biggest reason why I would be showing a little trepidation is, what does success mean for this team? It doesn't mean making the playoffs. They do that with that list of quarterbacks that you mentioned before. It means winning at least one playoff game. And that's going to be a lot harder, and you're going to need a lot more from Aaron Rodgers than just to manage the game and don't make big mistakes. He's going to have to outplay some of the best quarterbacks that we have in the game.
So, Brooke, you're there every single day. For those of you who don't know, Brooke Pryor, our Steelers reporter. So you have been there every single day from the moment that he arrived and long before that, and you've seen this relationship. I'm counting on Rodgers and Tomlin being the perfect match. What have you observed?
I'm also going to bring some realism to this conversation. What I've seen is a real connection between the two because they share a love language. 2 love languages, actually. It's words of affirmation and quality time. Ooh. Not only does Aaron Rodgers care about having Mike Tomlin ask, hey, how's your family doing? How's this person doing that I talked about one time? Those things. Rodgers is asking for that kind of information from his teammates, stretching with different guys. But when you talk about the quality time, Rodgers is a guy that likes to hang out with his teammates to build that connection, because it's a lot easier to yell at a guy and dress a guy down for not running the right route or whatever else if you've built up trust off the field. Mike Tomlin loves going away to training camp in Latrobe. His favorite thing, I could see Rodgers this year looks comfortable in Latrobe. He's in his element. They're hanging out in dorms. He's playing video games, things like that. That quality time, I think that they are speaking each other's language, and that's a good thing for the Steelers.
You know, we talked about this earlier this morning, and D. Wood, you will know this better than anybody, because Neek brought up, well, this all well and good for them to be doing great. Let's see what happens at the first sign of trouble. The first sign of trouble the New York Jets faced last year, they fired their coach. They panicked immediately. The New York Jets are the opposite of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The New York Jets have now had as many head coaches since the beginning of last season as the Steelers have had since 1969. 1969. There will be no panic at the moment that there is the first issue there. Ownership won't panic, which it did last year. Tomlin won't panic. And everyone last year was just running around like a chicken with their head cut off. This is a totally different situation in stability.
Yeah, a couple things here when you look at what, the way Rodgers was in New York and compare it to Pittsburgh. Number one, we can't even compare leadership between the two organizations. That's number one. And number two, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not asking Aaron Rodgers what Aaron Rodgers was in New York. In New York, Aaron Rodgers was asked to be the savior of an organization. They asked Aaron Rodgers to change the culture within the organization. That is not what's going to happen. You talked about in the first hour, like Mike Tomlin, he set the coach is already set. What they're asking Aaron Rodgers to do, just come in and play quarterback. Think about how big of a relief it is for a guy who's 41 years old, as accomplished as Aaron Rodgers, to just come in and like, just play quarterback. Just do that job and not be the GM, not, do all these other things that he was asked in New York.
Would you describe the quarterback play they've had in recent years as average?
Yeah.
No. It's been well below average. Hembo gave one of the numbers that didn't make it into the piece there. Their quarterback the ratings, I think, were 25th, 24th, and 27th in the leagues in each of these seasons, and they made the playoffs with that. If Aaron Rodgers can be average, an average NFL quarterback, that will be a marked step forward for what they've had.
I agree with you. That's the thing is I feel like I'm the wet blanket on here, but I don't think that I don't think they won't be better. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers will make them better. They'll win more games, at least one more game, maybe two more games than they did last year. But the problem is, because of how much that they've overachieved, they've gotten to the playoffs a lot and not done anything. That is not what they want. They won't consider the season a success if they make the playoffs.
Final word.
Yeah, I think you're right. To the Steelers, it's Super Bowl or bust, but I think a realistic success is getting out of the first weekend of the playoffs. And second of all, we got to respect Duck Hodges. The guy, he did some good things in Pittsburgh, and now he's Mr. Laney Wilson. If we could just respect what the man has done.
Those were the numbers that I was looking for. The last 3 times they went to the playoffs, their best numbers offensively put them below average, and most of the other 2 were right near the bottom of the league. Rodgers can be better than that. Much more.